Episode 3. God delivers. The FedEx guy. My second marriage was falling apart. We had only been married about a year, but already it was filled with constant fights and distance and disappointment. He was 7 years younger than me, still figuring himself out, and I was in my early 30s, already carrying more responsibility than I can handle. And then on top of all that, life seemed determined to crush me. I had lost my job, my car was repossessed, and I was 3 months behind on my mortgage. I remember waking up each day with this heavy pit in my stomach thinking, how am I going to survive this? How am I going to hold everything together? And the truth was, I wasn't. I felt like I was drowning. Earlier that year, several months before we got married, I had just become a Christian and was recently baptized. So I was still learning to lean into prayer and to faith. I would walk for hours because I was unemployed, meditating and asking God for some help to step in. I believed he could fix this marriage, my life, this mess. But most days, it just felt like I was praying into the void. Then one day I walked into my empty home. My husband had packed his stuff and left. And then a few days later, I was served with a divorce petition. Now, in the middle of all this, God sent me help in the form of a friend, a very good Christian brother. He knew I wasn't eating. Depression had taken over, and I had no appetite. So he would check in, stop by, bring me some food, a peanut butter jelly sandwich or some hard-boiled eggs and some carrots. Just something to keep me sustained while I was going through this heartbreak. He would remind me I wasn't alone. I wasn't alone. One day, a letter came in the mail, and I opened it, and it said that I had won the Radio Shack Free Phone for Life sweepstakes. Supposedly, it was worth $25,000. I had only been to Radio Shack once. I thought it was a scam. I laughed, and then I immediately called my friend, and he was concerned it was a scam. But I was desperate. I mean, I had nothing to lose. So I thought, what's the worst that can happen? And I sent in all my information that I was requiring. Social security, driver's license, really important information like that. You probably don't want to send off to somebody that you think is going to scam you, but I did it. And then weeks went by and life was still heavy. I was still praying. I was still drowning. How long was I going to be able to keep living like this? And then out of nowhere, I got a notification that a check for $25,000 was on its way. Now, you would think that at that moment, I would be jumping for joy. The breakthrough, the relief. Oh no, not me. I panicked. I was still married. The divorce wasn't finalized. If this is real, I have to share half of it with him, is what was running through my mind. So I went back to praying, and this time it was asking for that money not to come yet. Please don't come. Please don't come until I am free. until I am divorced. And life, or maybe should I say God, has a very funny sense of humor. Because just a few days after I had signed my divorce paperwork, I got another email notification that FedEx was scheduled to deliver a package. Now I'm not sure if it's a scam or if it's for real. Because now I'm divorced and $25,000 would answer so many of my prayers. And so later in the evening, after I had returned from work, the FedEx guy pulled up and he handed me a large envelope. And I went inside and I opened it. And it was just a check with my name on it and $25,000. And then at the bottom, Radio Shack, free phone for life. It was a real check for me. I dropped to my knees and I cried. I'm telling you, I did that ugly crying, sobbing. And it wasn't just because I had $25,000 in the check in front of me. It was about what it all meant. In that moment, I felt God's love so intensely. He reminded me that He loves me. And in the most ordinary and unexpected way, He hadn't forgotten about me. Have you ever prayed for something so desperately and then the answer finally came? And then you realize it wasn't about the thing you were praying for. It was just about knowing that you were seen. You felt loved. I really would love to know your story. That's how God works sometimes, right? I mean, the answers don't come in thunder or lightning or a burning bush. Sometimes they just show up in a FedEx envelope. That's one of the many ways He has showed up for me. So let me break it down a little bit more for you. That year was so hard. Not that $25,000 was going to replace that job, the love I had for my husband, the love I had for my truck. But what that $25,000 did for me was open doors to something else. It made room for me to love without attachment, to be grateful for what I have and not attached to it in a way that made me so obsessed when it was taken from me. It's like a repeated story in my life. As soon as I attach to something, it just gets taken. But I'm now, I guess, experienced that I know that something better is going to come in. And I'm loved. And I'm taken care of. And I just have to remember that. So thank you for letting me share this story. Because I feel like right now, I'm going through that again. And I just need to be reminded I'm just making space for better things. The hidden curriculum of life is this. Sometimes God's provision shows up in the smallest, strangest, most ordinary packages. For me, it came through a FedEx delivery. But what about you? Have you ever received an unexpected blessing that reminded you that you were not forgotten? Was it a check in the mail? A job offer? Or was it a friend's kindness at just the right time? Thanks so much for joining me on the Hidden Curriculum of Life. I hope today's story left you with something to reflect on, smile about, or carry with you. If you have a story to share, big or small, I'd love to hear it. You can email me at hidden.curriculum.of.life@gmail.com or connect with me on Instagram or Twitter X and also on YouTube. All of them are Hidden Curriculum of Life with Adrianne, and they will be in the notes so you can click and get there, whichever is your best method. Now let's keep uncovering the lessons life quietly teaches us all. Until next time, stay open, stay curious, and trust the journey. Bye.